Last week on After the Count.
Welcome to episode 2 of After the Count. It's Jose here. And, my God, what a boring ending to Hell in a Cell. I'm sorry. I got Sam Pierce here as my co-host. Come on. Are you kidding me? And, before we go on, I want to give props to the guy who operated the what is that? What is that called?
I don't know, like a lift.
The sky lift or something?
No, that man likely does not have a job anymore.
Shawn Michaels in the ring, and like we predicted, for those that didn't believe us, Shawn Michaels screwed Daniel Bryan. Ha!
He unmasked after he defeated The Miz in a match on Raw. Again? Just make up your mind, bro. Big Show.
Yeah,
he's back. He wasn't on Hell in a Cell, which I was really surprised, actually, because he's fired. He does not even in the company, so who's queuing up his music? And his graphics,
Now get the cards, the toys from my generation. I'll take the let's get it on. We're in this together and do it all. They said nothing's forever.
Sam. Suit. Kane's in the suit. Suit. Well, welcome to episode 3 of After the Count. Jose Taboada, Sam Pierce. Suit.
He's corporate king.
Oh, shut your mouth. Are you kidding me? You actually like that?
It's shades of Isaac Yanko. Remember his dentist character when he first came in?
Oh, my God. I forgot about that entire thing.
If it was up to me, he should have stuck with that.
Oh, yeah.
Just pulling people's teeth out all the time as his finisher.
So, he pulled people's teeth for his finisher?
No, it wasn't legitimate. He just had all these weird, promos backstage where he was, doing, evil operations on people's mouths. It was a bad gimmick. It was a bad gimmick.
And then he debuted as a big red monster, which in my opinion is gone. Okay, he's still a monster, but we're going to get into that. So yes, After the Count, episode 3, Monday Night Raw, another one in the books, closer and closer, 2 weeks to Survivor Series. And Sam, we both missed a good portion of Raw.
Yeah, I had some personal things going on in my life. But I was able to catch the ending of Monday Night Raw.
I got the last hour. I was tweeting on behalf of Sam in that last hour.
That's right.
And that was just, oh my goodness, that was a heck of a Raw.
We got some fans here coming in to say hi on the radio reel.
It's just Shanae. Hi, Shanae. She's in our program at Broadcasting and Film.
All right, she's gone. We know the main event of Survivor Series.
We do.
We're not going to say it. We're not going to say it yet.
Not yet.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But, I don't think it's the main event a lot of people wanted.
I agree. I'm caught off guard with the main event. Let's start off with the Monday Night Raw review.
Yeah, let's
go down. We did catch the highlights. All right, now just because we didn't get the first 2 hours of Raw doesn't mean we got the highlights.
I didn't see it live, but I did see it afterwards. I did watch it afterwards.
I got the highlights, and it kicked off with CM Punk defeating Luke Harper, with of course the Wyatts attacking after the match again.
Yeah, this is a totally new feud that was introduced in the first week post Hell in a Cell. It looks to be CM Punk and Daniel Bryan taking on the Wyatt family at some point. And this match was Punk taking on Luke Harper one-on-one. And, you had to expect that this wasn't going to be a one-on-one match for very long.
It's the Wyatts. Come on, people.
Although, that's the thing. Luke Harper ended up taking the loss here. And, I know the Harpers have lost cleanly, but I still thought maybe it was a little bit too early for any member of the Wyatt family to be losing cleanly here. I think they should have had their undefeated streaks go on a little bit longer, because I feel like they're still so fresh.
Oh, yeah. Now, the interesting thing is that Daniel Bryan came out and got a little bit of revenge from last week.
Well, yeah. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk were the 2 men attacked by the Wyatts for some unknown reason other than Bray Wyatt saying that the devil made me do it.
Corporate. Why am I saying corporate? No, hold on. That's not the wrong word. Ministry. There we go.
Corporate ministry. They were also
not
a faction.
Fine.
But, the Wyatts attacked Punk after the match, and, the numbers game was just totally demolishing Punk. And out comes Daniel Bryan in a weird ponytail, which looked a little bit of a different look for Daniel Bryan, kind of getting away from his traditional haircut.
Do you think he'll ever shave?
No, because, they got to turn him heel eventually. He's not going to be this character forever. He's still very early into his WWE career.
Are you telling me a heel turn is going to determine his beard?
Oh yeah. Well, but often face and heel turns determine the look, the visual aspect. Look at Kane.
Nice going. There you go. Now I have to add a bleep at the end of this thing. Well, it might have been added already.
Sometimes I just get so passionate, about wrestling that I swear. I'm sorry.
I just submitted this to iTunes, all right? Don't do... Okay, I'm kidding. I'm fine. I'm cool.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. It's going to get a 14-plus rating, not PG. Not PG. But, you got to look at Kane, and he just recently joined the corporation, it looks like, or the authority, as they're calling it.
Not cool.
And now he's not even wearing his traditional attire, the red and black that he's been wearing for so long.
All right. Okay. All right, you win there. The next match, Sam.
Yeah, after that, we had Ryback defeating the Great Khali.
So let me get this straight. It's two wrestlers who oversell or are just not that good in the ring facing each other.
Don't you dare disrespect Ryback.
I will do what I want.
Ryback rules.
I will do what I want to do.
I'm sorry. Am I yelling too loud?
No, that's a big deal. You're just complaining about a big baby.
I have
Ryback.
both of Ryback's shirts, and I want his vest.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
I am going to find him.
He has a vest?
His Ryback rules vest. I thought that was going to be an official part of WWE Shop's Ryback lineup, and it wasn't, and I was very disappointed.
So how the heck did you get the vest?
No, I don't have
Oh, you don't have the vest. Sorry.
I want it. It looks awesome. And he has custom Ryback rules boots, all made out of genuine leather. You can't get better quality than that. And Ryback rules. That's all I got to say. He defeats the Great Khali here on Raw in a total meaningless matchup. That's the thing. He lost to CM Punk at Battleground. He lost to CM Punk again at Hell in a Cell. They got to start building up Ryback again by putting him in meaningless matches against Kofi Kingston last week, Great Khali this week.
And then put on his boots Ryback owns instead of rules, right?
No, but they're going for the double R,
Damn it. He beat the Great Khali.
I don't know where this leads to.
Probably one of those just random matches that. But yeah, sure, maybe Ryback might mean significant, but for the fans, then I probably just another matchup like the next one, Alberto Del Rio and Kofi Kingston.
This is the thing. Like, you have 4 weeks of. We were talking about 4 weeks of build between Hell in a Cell and Survivor Series. That's going to give them more time to build up matches.
Nothing.
But
There's
they're not
only one, and I know. That's odd.
One announced match, the main event for Survivor Series. You had 3 weeks of build between, I think it was Battleground and Hell in a Cell, and you had the 2 or the 3 main event matches announced within the first 2 weeks for Hell in a Cell. That's not the case for Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. We only have 2 more episodes of Raw until Survivor Series, and we only have 1 match announced.
Well, actually, apparently, there's a Smackdown spoiler. Since Smackdown is tomorrow and taped on Tuesdays, that Cena has a match. Cena has an opponent for the Survivor Series. We're not going to reveal it. Then again, I didn't read it.
I assume Del Rio has to get a rematch.
I guess, but
I would love to see a triple threat between Del Rio, Sandow, and Cena.
That's exactly, and like you said last week on After the Count, you clearly said that he's been in the picture for 3 years, and yet he's going to go back into it. So I don't blame you. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into WrestleMania with that concept.
Okay, they're trying to rebuild Survivor Series as one of the big 4 because it has lost so much credibility over the years as a big event.
And not only that, there was even a time where Vince McMahon announced, guys, we're not going to do Survivor Series
anymore. They were
going
to turn it into like a War Games pay-per-view or something.
And they saved it and realized, maybe that's what the fans what they want, right? It's one of the big 4.
Well, they had a bunch of polls on WWE.com asking them what Survivor Series should become, and I don't think any of the ideas were great. You don't need a gimmick pay-per-view. Call it the Survivor Series. Call it whatever you want. But, it's 5-on-5 elimination matches don't wow me anymore, to be honest. And I'm the WWE mark.
Hold on. Depends on the match, though. Don't you agree? Depends on the match.
They need some sort of story behind them.
Exactly. And 2 weeks is not enough to build a 5-on-5 Survivor Series. Unless you're going to come on down and over. Because the only thing that we have so far that could be any potential to. No, actually, no, I lied. Nothing.
Well,
because Big Show now has Triple H, or Big Show and Randy Orton rather. We said episode 2, Daniel Bryan versus the Authority or one. That's not happening.
We assume no, it's not. It doesn't look like it's happening. Are the Wyatts working for the Authority? Because we can see that it will possibly be CM Punk and Daniel Bryan teaming up. Mm-hmm. Either in a tag team match against both the Wyatt family members, or will it be a Team Punk Bryan versus Team Wyatt or Team Harper?
I would go with the Punk Bryan now because that looks like what they're developing, especially
just in a tag team match, though. Well, then what will be the Survivor Series matchup? Do we even get a traditional Survivor Series matchup this year?
I hope so. I don't know, but
well, that's the thing. I mean, they should have announced the traditional Survivor Series match the night after Hell in a Cell, and over the next few weeks, slowly start adding contestants to the match. But, last year we had Team Foley versus Team Ziggler, which was originally supposed to be Team Punk versus Team Foley.
Right.
But nobody cared, and everyone really thought that they wanted a WWE Championship match instead. So we got Team Ziggler versus Team Foley, which had absolutely no meaning. Like, why would Foley and Ziggler have a feud all of a sudden?
Exactly.
It's losing a lot of its credibility.
I agree.
And I sell WWE on every aspect that I possibly can. You got
a little bit of talk after you said that you have the December to December DVD.
I own December to December.
Oh, I flipped it around. Sorry, that's that hurts.
December to December.
Sorry. Sam, the next match was also another just throw-in as well. Randy Orton and Langston.
Really meaningless match here. This Raw was not good.
So we can, you know what? I think
Randy Orton defeated.
We
Biggie
clearly
Langston.
have a lot more to talk about in the second half. Well, because the next match too was another way to build up Fandango and Summer Rae. Tyson Kidd and Natalya facing on.
Yeah, Tyson Kidd's back. He's been working house shows for a while. But he teamed up with Natalya to actually defeat Fandango and Summer Rae. So I guess they're not pushing Summer Rae anymore, and I guess Fandango is totally going to become just a jobber now.
I really hope not.
I mean, Tyson Kidd's a good wrestler, no question. I understand he's returning, and maybe they want to make him into a more, a bit of a bigger member of the roster. But I just think like a clean win over Fandango. I thought they were going full throttle with Fandango. I mean, he beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
That's right, he did. That's right.
But even, about the Randy Orton versus Big E Langston match, weren't they also building up Big E Langston?
Yeah, and again, you just throw into a match where you know that it's not going to be really. I mean, if anything, if you're going to build this guy up, you got to put him back in the title build-up story, and I'm assuming that would be against who is it, Ambrose?
Well,
or maybe Axel again, if you want to.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
The next match, though, again I think, in my opinion, for like the second straight week, the third straight show that we've covered so far, the tag match dominated again.
Yep, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Rhodes brothers, the Brotherhood, whatever you want to call them. They are probably the best performers that WWE has. We've said that week in and week out, and they're putting on the best matches right now.
Yeah, and they teamed up with Cena, and Cena actually put up a heck of a fight as well. And Sando and the Real Americans, that was a good matchup.
I was kind of disappointed though because this was a rematch from last week's SmackDown. This was the main event.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, of last week's SmackDown.
I'll be honest, I mostly cover Raw than SmackDown.
Why have a straight rematch from SmackDown, and why aren't you starting to build something?
These
were all like just clean finishes with nothing building towards Survivor Series.
I remember saying this to a few friends a little while back that SmackDown now, you don't really build storylines anymore. It's more like it's just there. I mean, if something happens and they show it on a pay-per-view, really it was just at the end like, oh, screw you, and start a punch. The main development is clearly on Raw, and if they did this on Raw again, most likely it's to build up something maybe between Cena and Sandow and the Rhodes and
well, that's what I mean. It wouldn't make
Americans.
sense to have Cena versus Del Rio in one-on-one because then Sandow gets thrown to the wolves again.
Sandow
Sandow
clearly has revenge there. Like, I mean, if you put when these kind of matches, this is the thing about these matches. They're placed. The juxtaposition is there for a reason because it means it's their opponents for upcoming pay-per-views. So I seriously hope that match announced on SmackDown was Cena and Sandow. And if it's not, I will break somebody's freaking neck.
I don't think it's going to be Cena. Well, that is an overreaction.
I
hope you do not break my neck as a result.
Oh, fine.
But a triple threat match would be the best outcome, because that way Del Rio gets his rematch, Sando gets his rematch, all in one night, and then you can just move on from there. I think we all know Cena's going to walk out of Survivor Series with the belt anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
But we know it'll be the Rhodes Brothers versus Cesaro and Swagger. Whether or not that happens before Survivor Series for the tag belts or at the show, I'm not quite sure of that yet, because, like we said, only one match announced for Survivor Series and 2 weeks until the show.
Yep. Ziggler, Axel.
Yeah, Ziggler. Okay, so Curtis Axel wasn't able to compete on Hell in a Cell.
He's back.
But he's back and looks like nothing happened. How do you recover from an injury that fast?
Not only that, but with Heyman gone for a while, that's a little bit interesting.
Axel and Ryback, I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, I love Axel and Ryback.
Of course,
but I now realize how much of that love was provided by
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
Because I mean, like when I saw Axel come out just by himself without Heyman, knowing it got written out of the show, out of the WWE aspect for a while now, it's just, boy, it just
honestly
kills. It just.
Without Heyman, Axel gets zero reaction. Even with Heyman, to my disappointment, Axel didn't get a huge reaction out of the crowd. And without Heyman, he gets absolutely none. Ziggler goes on to defeat Axel here. So do we see is Ziggler now the number one contender for the IC belt against Curtis Axel? He must be.
Or maybe it was another buffer match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like,
look at this card. Like, I mean, look at this entire card, Sam. Like, none of it is build up. Nothing except
for the ending and except for Punk Harper.
Nothing.
I still think we should have the main event set by now. You know, this is like
we technically did
in October 2011 when between Night of Champions and Hell in a Cell they had 2 weeks of build-up.
Oh, God.
There was 2 weeks, 2 Raws and 2 Smackdowns, and basically it was just like every match had almost no build to it. But, I mean, that's the thing. You have 4 weeks for Survivor Series. Why aren't you building up these matches more? Create more excitement, because right now I'm honestly not that excited for Survivor Series.
Unless SmackDown has a way to build stuff up again. Like, unless SmackDown comes back.
I hope it does. I hope they give SmackDown more credibility. I hope they give fans more of a reason to tune in. Of course, I watch all WWE programming because I'm a mark. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But I know a lot of other people only watch it if it's significant or if it's entertaining.
Like me.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest here. SmackDown doesn't offer a whole lot that you can't find on Raw.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. Of course. The Usos took on 3MB in yet another meaningless match.
3-man band.
Yeah, and you know, I support 3MB. I feel bad for Drew McIntyre because he is the chosen one. Is he still the chosen one, or did Vince forget about that? I don't know. But this match shouldn't even be happening on Raw. This is just a meaningless tag team match.
Plus, the 3-man band is just there. I mean, like, I remember hearing about the 3-man band in January. I remember the first time I heard of them was at the Royal Rumble, right? It's January. We're almost in 2014 for crying out. We got a month off, and they're still together, and they had developed nothing.
Well, I mean, I guess they're the most consistent jobbers that WWE has had in a while.
You know what used to laugh about the 3-man band, though?
What?
I mean, this was funny. Like, in the WWE 2K14 entrance videos, and they showed, like, the entrance and the finisher.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times the 3-man band got abused.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny that you bring that up.
Yeah.
But
they're just meat, you know.
And it's funny because I mean the Outsiders just got their WWE 2K14 entrance released as their DLC later on.
Yeah.
And they still got Heath Slater.
Yeah, I know. Of course, I felt so bad for them when they were just like totally squashing Slater in that matchup, doing like all their finishers and stuff.
Everybody gets their turn with Slater as odd as that's supposed to sound, but I found that funny. And then you got Jinder Mahal, and if it wasn't Jinder Mahal, it was McIntyre, and it was back to Slater.
I mean, Heath Slater never had anything going for him.
Well, I mean, he did face the Legends that one year. I forgot what year it was, last year. But that
was June. Yeah, June 20. Yeah, last
year.
Last
yeah,
summer.
and it was just a one-man band until he realized, oh wait, I need 2 more.
Jinder and Drew at least had something going for them previously. Jinder had a decent feud with Sheamus on SmackDown. It was just a television feud, though, and never made it to pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true.
And Drew McIntyre was Intercontinental Champion, but I guess they forgot about that.
Because it was a 3-man band. This match was the match where everybody got a chance to go to the washroom, buy any more refreshments, as it was the Bellas and Eva Marie against AJ, Tamina, and Oksana. I can't say that name.
Oksana, she's French, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Yeah, remember she was with Cesaro when Cesaro debuted.
Thank you. Now, this result pissed off a lot of people.
Well,
because
you got to introduce the new generation of divas, you know? That's
I
Eva Marie.
guess, but, I mean, who did she pin again? It was Tamina, right? Tamina, the daughter of Snuka.
Yeah, roll up. Well, really bad ending, too.
My point,
really weak
my point
roll-up.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's like I mean, she got tagged in.
It's a divas match.
Tagged in and pinned. And
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't really know how Tamina was. I mean, Tamina they built up as like kind of like a really strong diva.
I mean, this match clearly was the 3 that can wrestle and the 3 that can't. And you pinned a daughter of a legend who can wrestle.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
sad.
that's always been the case in WWE. They're gonna push the best looking ones, and
That's-
I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive here or anything, but obviously the Bellas and Eva Marie are a little bit more marketable than say Tamina and Oksana even, I guess.
All right, now that poor card got under the way, time for the best part of the night, and probably the night that got me crazy on Twitter.
Yeah,
because I was just tweeting nonstop with the after account of it, this entire. Oh,
Yeah, so-
man, they went the wrong way.
We heard Big Show was gonna sue WWE.
Yeah.
And he had rightful reason to. I mean, they abused the Big Show, you know. And so he said, so the board actually invited Big Show to the arena. Stephanie McMahon let him into the arena, even though Triple H banned him for life, you know.
I see what you did there.
Reference there, Wolfpack for life.
Uh-huh.
But Triple H was not very happy, obviously. He doesn't want him in the building because he's afraid Big Show's going to kick his ass, you know.
And for the record, in my opinion, that should have been the case. I mean, like, you know, Big Show came out, you know, so far it's between the McMahons, Stephanie, and Triple H, or Hunter. We're going to go with Hunter here. And the Big Show. All right? That's what it looks like. You know, it's a good build-up. And all of a sudden, literally out of nowhere, I want Orton. Come on. You got it. I mean...
I try not to think logically when I watch wrestling because then nothing would make sense in wrestling. If you think about wrestling,
right,
it makes absolutely no sense.
But,
you just have to believe. That's what I always say. But the Big Show made a deal. He said, "You know what? You don't want me to sue you because I will own this company. If I sue you, you know, WWE will be mine."
Yeah. But regardless, I mean, like a lot of fans, like myself, except for you. It says, you know, it should have been Big Show, Triple H, and some sort of stipulation at the Survivor Series.
No, I agree. I don't dislike Big Show Randy Orton, but like I was saying to you earlier today, the payoff of this Authority Big Show feud, it's taking too long to get to. We had Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan for 3 pay-per-views with the Big Show involved. In the build-up to those, especially at Battlegrounds.
Right.
We all remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And so we know that the ultimate payoff is going to be Big Show versus Triple H finally getting his hands on the guy
but
who's
you
put
know
him
what?
through this.
With the way that they're doing and with the way that TLC is, like we said last week, a buffer pay-per-view, that will not be settled anytime soon. It should have been settled at the Survivor Series. Or if not, you know, the worst comes to worst, it's the Royal Rumble. And if that doesn't work...
Because I heard they wanted to rebrand Survivor Series as a big event because people forgot that it is part of the Big Four because they haven't been building it up as much. Mm-hmm. But obviously they changed their minds about that because Big Show will not meet Triple H. He'll instead meet Randy Orton for the WWE Championship.
Now,
so he has his job back and he gets a match against Orton.
Not only that, but then he got a 401 handicap match, which... was going pretty well for the Big Show until, you know, we hear music without pyro. There's no pyro anymore from Kane. Kane comes out in a freaking suit.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to change his, like, Titantron where all the flames engulf the stage. It's just going to be, like, suits and ties and stuff just, like, flying all over the screen.
Now, obviously, there's many reasons for it. Number one, the WWE side, he's joining the Authority, you know, wants to be corporate. At the same time, though, outside of the WWE, apparently he's running for to be, what was it, governor or a senator?
Political. It's not going to work.
And then, you know, we've seen it before, which kind of cost the WWE with their PG
that's
branding
when
with Linda. When Linda
was running for
Senator, I think.
Senator, was it?
I think. I can't remember. I don't even want to
She
Google it because
was-
it's just that bad.
She was heavily accused of, oh, look at how bad this product is. They pile drive women. And I mean, they had to change it. It was during the new age of WWE when they kind of changed that stuff and they put a stop to it.
I mean, people said that was the reason for the PG change because of the election, because of like the campaign, and now that you got another WWE superstar back in that space, it's
It'll
odd.
never go back to the old days. I don't think there's a place for that in today's modern world.
No, unless like the only way I can think of is if you move SmackDown back to Thursdays and have a Thursday night war.
I don't know why they even moved SmackDown to Fridays in the beginning.
TNA's on Thursdays, no?
Who cares? If you put it on Thursday, you would defeat TNA. If you put SmackDown on Thursday, you would wipe TNA out forever. But they don't want it. WWE doesn't want it to make it look like they have competition.
Right.
They can move SmackDown to another night, and TNA will still get a 1.0 consistently. TNA gets 1 million viewers, but
Really?
1,000 people go to their shows.
Because they put in the smallest arenas. I don't ever see them in like an Air Canada Center. I don't ever see
Not
them
quite as big.
at like TD Gardens. I don't see it.
No, but you know what I heard? Hell in a Cell only drew 9,000 people in a 16,000 arena.
You're telling me that arena was half empty?
It was. Yeah.
You're telling me that we could have flown over to where was that event again?
Miami.
Miami?
Yeah, I've been to Miami before.
You're telling me we could have gone to the American Airlines Center? We could have enjoyed Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, sorry, man.
Really? It looked full to me.
It mostly full, but I read online 9,000 people.
That didn't
What are
look-
average hockey arenas like 15 to 18,000?
Yeah, average.
It was 9,000 attendance at Hell in a Cell.
But they just made it look like they must have moved people up then and got
Oh
it
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
just
Well,
to get the effect.
I don't know if you saw, but when we were at the Monday Night Raw in Toronto, where I was right on the TV side, right?
Aren't you lucky?
Yeah, it was amazing. There was a guy walking back and forth, a WWE employee, telling people, you can't have that sign. You have to take off your sunglasses. We have to move you here because the shield's coming down and we need to make this area look more full. Stuff like that. It was all the production aspect. So obviously, they definitely moved everybody
They
to
had
where
to.
the cameras would
Yeah,
have
they
been,
had
so
to.
it looked full. But
Yeah.
it's surprising because Hell in a Cell, WWE thought it was one of the biggest events. Obviously, not so much anymore.
No. But then again, Miami really doesn't fill up stadiums for a lot of, or the state of Florida rather, with sports. So this isn't a surprise either. But that's surprising to hear. But yeah. So, anyways, we went on talks back to Kane. We
got sidetracked
I don't
there.
know, but we snapped.
Do
But
you
yeah.
like Kane's new look? I think I know what
All
your
right.
answer is going to be.
All right, look, when I saw it, I remember I was talking to my friend on Facebook, Frank. He wants to be on the show. He was going to be on the show in a couple of weeks, actually.
Nice.
He'll do it. And he's talking about what if we're waiting for the big explosion, because Kane, with the way that Kane ended last week, taking off the mask, we're like, okay, he's going to pop up. So we're waiting for the boom, the pyro to kick in, and we're like, boom, no. Boom, no. And then we hear the music, and we're like, there you go. There he comes. Who the hell is that?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
And you see the suit, the red tie, and everything. It was just like, whoa.
It's a good change. I don't know if you agree with this, but Kane, the character of Kane, is incredibly stale.
It's an interesting change. I mean, since he debuted in '97 at Bad Blood,
He's had the same character, and it has never, ever, shades of Chris Jericho, amounted to anything. It's never amounted to anything.
well-
They've turned him heel, multiple times, and to a face, because the heel turn never lasts. He never has a long period of wins, except for maybe in 2010, where he became World Heavyweight Champion and feuded with The Undertaker. He dominated The Undertaker in that feud, but went right back to his losing ways. And they, as soon as he starts losing, they say, well, we got to turn him face again.
What about like in 2004? I mean, he had defeated the Survivor Series.
Yeah.
That lasted a while. That lasted November, December, January, February, March. It lasted 5 months.
I just mean,
Lasted a good part of the.
but has it ever amounted to a WWE Championship run? Has it ever?
Well, no, because I mean, you look at that storyline. The brother versus brother. It was a storyline to end that brotherly feud, and then Kane would eventually go back to what he was doing.
Well,
so you
Kane-
can't really blame the storyline, because
No.
from there, it was just that storyline was more of not because I want to dominate as a champion. I want to just bury my brother.
I just think that there's never been a spot in the modern WWE for a monster to be able to dominate the entire roster. There's been too many other guys that they've wanted to push, and that's why Kane hasn't been able to dominate and be the evil monster that his character tells us that he is. There's guys like, remember when he came back and attacked John Cena at the end of right at the beginning of 2012.
My birthday. He came back on my birthday. The mask.
But the
Yeah, I
Royal
remember that.
Rumble, that match ended in a no contest. And in an Elimination Chamber, John Cena defeated Kane in an ambulance match. And that was that. Then Kane won a match
Now,
against Orton here and there. That was it.
I do have to agree with you, though, that since 97 to 2013, 10 years, what is that? 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 years. I had to count. I couldn't think. 16 years of the same guy. It is interesting because, when he came out, let's face it, we all thought the one thing. He's a corporate monster. He's still a monster, but it's finally a different monster. Because, we had, like, the Mask Monster, the Brothers of Destruction Monster, the first ever, like, when he took off the mask, the weird, psychotic
Yeah, what happened to his
monster.
face? It just, like,
Exactly.
healed miraculously, and then he was just like a normal guy. That was
Exactly.
weird.
So, like, he had, like, that kind of monster. Then the brother feud again. So, he had different faces, but this one is really, really unique since 97. So, I'll give him props for that. As, like, how I think of it, it's just weird. It's just, I feel like something like this should have happened rather, a lot earlier than it did.
I just think the modern wrestling fan, because they don't understand that in order for a face, to have a big win moment, you have to have the heels go over for a while. You have to have the heels dominate so that when the face finally wins and overcomes the odds, it's a big moment. And I don't doubt for a second that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and John Cena, the three biggest faces of the company, will be the ones to finally defeat the Authority. But for right now, the Authority has to dominate in order for that moment to be special when it finally does happen.
So that was our recap of Raw, guys. What do you think? After the count on Twitter.
As much as I would love to give it 2 thumbs up, I can't find it in me to give it 2 thumbs up.
The tag match and the ending kind of saved it, but barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Rhodes family, great match as always. Even Ziggler-Axel was a good match. I'm sad that Axel lost, but look at Ziggler. He's mid-card again, so that's too bad. I got to give it a thumbs down for Raw.
So, like we said throughout this the podcast, 2 weeks away to Survivor Series, but there's still only one match. One match.
Yeah.
With the second one announced tomorrow on Smackdown. But, we were thinking, what could we possibly see as well? And Sam, I'm going to start off with you. What kind of match do you think could be added on a Survivor Series?
Well, as I'm looking through this list here of the results on Monday Night Raw, I see guys like Big E Langston, a lot of mid-card guys. Does Big E Langston get another shot at Dean Ambrose? Likely.
Yep. Because, that you can't just leave that hanging in Hell in a Cell.
You know what was supposed to happen? It was, I think last night on Main Event, it was supposed to be Big E versus Axel, I believe.
Okay.
They announced that on Raw. Big E Langston, Curtis Axel, IC belt on Main Event. Never happened.
Never happened?
Didn't say anything about
Exactly. So, because especially how, although Hell in a Cell got the impromptu match, after that, people are going to be like, you know what? They got to keep going.
Yeah,
develop it.
I think they've totally forgotten about Big E versus Axel. It's now Big E Ambrose, and it'll become Axel Ziggler. So I think we see Big E Ambrose for the U.S. belts, and I think maybe we see Ziggler Axel for the IC belt.
Right, okay.
Because if there is that traditional Survivor Series matchup, a lot of the big guys are going to be in that match, right? So you're going to have a few more mid-card matches, I would say, than usual.
All right. Now, for me, I'm going to say this now, keeping up with the Survivor Series elimination style, for me, I feel like, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, but a potential fatal 4-way elimination tag match. We've seen it at that 3 WrestleManias, 18, 19, 20. I think 19. No, not 19.
No, it's 20. There's 2 of them.
In 20. Yeah, so I say the Usos taking on the Shield, taking on the Real Americans, and then eventually the Rhodes Brothers are the tag champions. I just see that because, you got to do something with the tag match. Plus, the Usos were involved last week. You had the Real Americans this week. The Shield was still involved last week. What are the odds of them, saying, keeping that going? Because if they're going to put, especially on SmackDown, you said the Rhodes and the Real Americans already had that kind of matchup. They're going to keep going with it. It's about to happen.
The Real Americans are the number one contenders. They've pinned the Rhodes Brothers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Fatal 4-Way because we initially read a rumor that said it would be a Fatal 4-Way match. And you said elimination style. I really liked when in 2002 they didn't have a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 match, but all of their matches were elimination style. They had the Elimination Chamber, the tag belt match between Angle versus Los Guerreros and who was it? Edge and Rey Mysterio. And
Go on.
I just thought because the traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 match is getting very stale. It's getting very boring.
Yeah, but you need something exciting. Plus, a Fatal 4-Way tag match was always interesting. I remember WrestleMania 18. I enjoyed it. 20, you had Smackdowns and Raws, which ended pretty good. So I see that. That's what I see. So do you guys agree with that? You can tweet us at After the Count, or if you guys want to add your own perspective, go ahead, tweet us as well. And Sam, I think we're just going to wrap up the show today.
Sounds good to me. Very disappointing Raw, and Survivor Series not looking too hot right now.
Yep, SmackDown tomorrow. Don't forget to watch that. For Sam Pierce, I'm Jose Taboada. See you later. See ya.
Bye.